Ian Paisley...
2 sugars, please!
Ian Paisley is very against the Anglo-Irish agreement, but he shouldn't be, as all the Anglo-Irish agreement actually says is Dana is crap. Meanwhile, it is, of course, impossible to criticise the role of the SAS in the Irish problem, as the SAS are the last vestige of British national pride. Like we may have lost an empire, a manufacturing industry, and every single round of Je Sens Frontière, but we do have these 8 blokes who are really quite hard. The IRA contend that part of the propaganda struggle is against the British cultural stereotype of the thick paddy. Well, one thing we might suggest in aid of this particular struggle is don't carry on putting bombs under the wrong cars. Although, obviously, when it comes to getting the wrong people, the IRA don't compare to the British legal system. If the government really want to keep public opinion against the IRA, it shouldn't be Gerry Adams who you're not allowed to hear directly on TV, but Lord Denning.
And then Lord Denning claimed that he still maintained it would have been better if the Birmingham 6 had been hung. He went on to say that the real emergency at the moment was the Suez crisis. That Cromwell must go, and that he could have bought the same Javanese crackers from Medhamsley Road Concert.
The case of the Birmingham 6 and the Guildford 4 demonstrate finally that anyone with an Irish accent who lives and works in this country is under suspicion.
Pretends to quell the audience despite the fact that there are 5 people off camera holding up boards that say applaud, applaud. Joke there, which dies terribly. So, hello tonight, and my guest, Jan Francis.
All right, that's it. I've heard enough. You're nicked.
It's because I'm Irish, isn't it?
No. It's because you're rubbish.
I can't remember that. I've come up here to do a quick audience survey to find out what people's favourite records are of all time, because it interests me. You, sir, what's your favourite record of all time? Any record you like?
Anyone Can Fall in Love by Anita Dobson.
Good choice, good choice. Yeah, that's also my own favourite record. Members of the audience, if I want to shout out now, if you could just shout out your favourite records of all time, OK? Now. That's remarkable. I think, though, right, the reason that record is so popular is, you may remember, it very cleverly fitted the lyric, Anyone Can Fall in Love, around the theme tune. Da, 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 da. You see, anyone can fall in love. You see, although presumably, had the theme tune gone, da, 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 the lyric would have been, anyone can fall in some custard. But 3 years on, right, and other celebrities are picking up on the idea of releasing records with the lyrics fitted around the theme tune of their programme. First on vinyl, Alistair Burnett.
I love you so, don't want to let you go. I love you so, oh, please don't tell me no. Woman, you're so sexy. I'm not a gigolo girl, and you're just a very special lady. Mama's got a brand new bag. Sandy.
There is no doubt that most people are actually excited by the prospect of war in the Gulf. It's like when a crowd gathers around 2 men about to have a ruck. Everybody wants the fight to happen, which is perhaps why, so far, in fact, the only placatory measure that has been taken by the West is the collective decision by Western diplomats to call Saddam Hussein by his first name. Are they being chummy? Where is it going to stop?
Well, what you have to remember, of course, is that whole Kurdish villages have been wiped out in chemical weapon attacks instigated by Sadders. And really, Sad the Lad, as I call him, is a ruthless dictator of a type who I can only compare with Addy-Waddy Hitler.
Of course, this might have something to do with the fact that up to 2 months ago, we were best mates with Sadders. At any moment, though, the problem is Iraq may use mustard gas. But in such a circumstance, the British military are prepared to respond immediately with piccalilli gas. With talk of chemical weapons, it is a relief to remember that some people have already got out.
Today, Iraqi sources confirmed that British women would be allowed to leave Iraq. This is John Simpson for the 9 o'clock news in Baghdad.
Meanwhile, if war does break out, we can at least be reassured by the knowledge that it will involve a concerted multinational peacekeeping force.
fighting finally broke out in the Gulf today between the Americans and the French. Apparently, General Field Marshal Gruber of the 3rd Airborne Armored Division was heard to refer to Charles Aznavour as a faggot. John Simpson is on the scene.
Dawn in Baghdad. That's my new name. Dawn in Baghdad for the 9 o'clock news.
And now we're going over live to Baghdad for a satellite link-up with Saddam Hussein. Hello, President, can you hear me?
Hello, David. I'm a big fan of the Happy Mondays. He's going to step on you again, stand the Perseverance.
Yes, thank you, President. I did say this was a live satellite link-up, so could you just wait 3 seconds after everything I say, looking a bit lost and puzzled?
Yes, David. You know these satellite photos? They remind me of when you go up to a urinal and then you relax and it's all about to happen, but then there's a 3-second delay before anything actually comes out.
Yes, especially when there's somebody standing next to you.
Yes, David. You know, sometimes then I have to pretend that I was just finishing and go out still needing to go.
Yes. Now, President, how have you been affected by the cutting off of all trade links with the West?
Oh, it's great. It means I don't have to pay these. Love and thanks to Tom King. Good night and stay baggy.
One thing that has become clear about Iraq is that in every street there are numerous large pictures of Saddam Hussein. Baghdad is his personal giant photo album. In any batch of photos, however, there are going to be some you'd rather people didn't see.
Oh no, they've used the one that makes me look like Dickie Davis. I look like I'm on bloody Sportsmasters.
We have learned a lot about Iraq, although we're yet to find out exactly why it is that their TV news starts with some graphics that were turned down by Cheggers Plays Pop. Also, doesn't Saddam get pissed off about how much his spokesman looks like him?
And furthermore, we warn the Western invaders of the Holy Territory that the will of the Iraqi people is strong and no hardship will be too great before the day of triumph for the glorious...
Hey, you! You've ripped off my whole bloody image. I mean, if I'd wanted a look-alike, I would have written into stars in their eyes.
Your Eminence,
It has taken me many years of hard work to work out this look. Sort of Omar Sharif meets Bagpuss.
It was undoubtedly the Iraqi invasion, though, which put paid to Kuwait City's bid to host the 1996 Olympics. Although it did still finish ahead of Manchester.
And now, the Dungeons and Dragons experience, an interactive audience participation fantasy adventure. Dare you try to recover the 3 sacred weapons of Trollsbane and face the fearsome smeg beast of Throck? Of course you don't. That's why you have to play fantasy games with all the other sad gits taking time off from train spotting. Using this computer, we will enter a landscape of trolls and goblins, of mountains and fortresses, a land such as can normally only be entered on the covers of albums by particularly crap heavy metal bands.
Long ago, in a distant time.
Yeah, this isn't a lager ad, actually. Hugh, if you could just get on with it in your normal voice, OK?
Long, long ago, in a distant time, there lived a fearsome
Dragon beast of doom.
in the land of Gonad. And in the valley by the great river, we find our hero, a young goblin by the name of...
OK, this is your first chance to enter the story, to enter a world of fantasy and imagination. You, sir, what is your name and what do you do?
My name is Ron.
Ron?
I don't do anything.
You don't do anything, OK? Ron, the unemployed person. OK. OK, Ron, the unemployed person, you are to join a party of mighty warriors who include Boron the Magnificent, Osric the Mighty, and Ron, the unemployed person. What task do you choose? Task A, Task B, or Task C?
D.
Now, don't be clever, Rod, just because you're on the dole, all right? You still had an education, so task A, task B, or task C?
I will do A.
A. He has chosen task A.
Ron has chosen task A. Before he goes on, let's just see what he could have chosen. Task B was to have come to the BBC bar afterwards and we'll buy him a drink. Task C was to have gone on a weekend in Paris with Fiona Armstrong, but no, he chose A, which is to recover the 3 sacred weapons of Trollsbane, which have been stolen.
So, were you in the Trollsbane area last Thursday night? Did you see a gang of goblins and pixies carrying a huge sword making their getaway in a V-Reg Ford Granada? If you did, tell me where you got the stuff, because I'd like to try it as well.
Your task, Ron, the unemployed person, is to make your way to the Fortress of Eternal Thingy, and there to recover the 3 sacred weapons. Does he accept the challenge?
Does Ron
Yes,
accept? Oh, he does.
I do
Right,
accept the challenge.
He does accept the challenge.
Then proceed.
You set out across the marshes of despair, where you may at any time face certain doom. For above you circle fierce death hawks, which will attack completely at random.
You enter the Forest of Temptation, where dwell the seductive and beautiful wood nymphs. Fortunately, in your pocket, you always carry a condom. Now, you are lost in the great forest. But wait, over in yon glade is one of the little people.
And the producer said to me, Ronnie, he said to me, Ronnie, as he does quite often. By the way, I should explain, should advise you, don't eat one of these mushrooms. You know. I had one of these earlier, and look what happened to the set of Sorry.
Either you can carry on listening to Ronnie, or you can have him disemboweled by the smeg beast of Throp. I can't believe you're thinking about it.
We'll go for the disembowelment.
We'll go for the disemboweling. Can we have the disemboweling? Thank you, Steve. Okay. Now you approach the Crag Fortress of Eternal Thingy, but first, you must answer the riddle of the gatekeeper, the most dreaded creature of all, the horrifying, the hideous, 3-headed Savile monster.
Now then. As it happens, 15 years ago, what was the #1 sound?
All right, Ron, have you any idea? 15 years ago today, what was the #1 sound?
The Laughing Gnome, David Bowie.
The Laughing Gnome by David Bowie is wrong. Does anyone else want to help Ron, the unemployed person, with this? Any ideas for 15 years ago what the #1 sound was?
Anyone can fall in love by Anita Johnson.
Don't be stupid. That was obviously only 3 years ago. Does anyone else know? Anyone else want to have a go?
Kung Fu Fighting.
Kung Fu Fighting, that's good enough because it's so original. It was such a great song. So that's right, and that's the correct answer. And so with the help of the audience, you have managed to get through into the fortress, and you, Ron the unemployed person, are now the proud owner of the 3 sacred weapons of Trollsbane. The Sword of Randall.
Randall's sword.
The Shield of Crondor.
Crondor's shield.
And the Axe of Nopolt.
Nopolt axe.
Actually, there are quite a few other social issues we haven't covered yet. Yeah, like employment law.
Yeah, there's a crime rise, destruction of the rainforest.
Well, lads,
Something I want to talk about.
Portrait of a Marriage.